Matthew 7, verses 7 to 11. Jesus is talking toward the end of the Sermon on the Mount, and this is what he says. Verse 7, "Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives. The one who seeks finds. To the one who knocks, the door will be opened. Which of you, if your son asks for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for fish, will give him a snake? If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good gifts to those who ask of him?" This little section of a few verses is Jesus inviting us to come to know and experience the love of the Father. Jesus paints this picture that God is not this big, holy being that is far off and cold and distant, but God is like a loving and devoted and doting Father who is eager to hear from us and answer us and give us good gifts. In the second little part of that section, Jesus talks about how dads, earthly dads who are broken, he calls them evil. People who are broken, who don't get things right all the time. But he says even earthly dads, dads that don't have their life together, even they know how to give good gifts to the children who ask them, right? If their kid asks them for something good, it's not very likely that their dad is going to give them something harmful, like stone instead of bread, or a snake instead of a fish, right? And Jesus makes this comparison that even if broken, evil, earthly dads can give good gifts to kids, then wouldn't you know that the Father, our Father in heaven, who is entirely good and generous and gracious, is eager to give good gifts to those who ask him. This section is all about inviting us to come and explore God's goodness and graciousness to us, reminding us that God is, in fact, like this loving Father. But the problem is that most Christians don't view God this way. We do have the view that God is big and holy and beyond us, and that is a side of God that we should hold on to. We should revere and fear God for sure. But are we, like little children, running into our Father's arms, eager to share both our joys and our desires and our pains with him? Because here, this is the picture that Jesus wants to paint to those who are wanting to know what this God is like. That more than anything, God is this loving, caring, and generous Father. And so the question is, do you not receive because you don't ask? Do you not find because you haven't knocked? Are you standing at a door that's closed because you haven't wanted that door to open? God, my friends, is such a generous and loving and caring God, and he is waiting for you. The ultimate picture, I think, of this is found in Luke chapter 15, when Jesus tells the parable of the prodigal son, where the son goes off and he ditches his father. He says, "I wish you were dead," and he goes out and parties and blows through all his money, and then he has nothing and no friends, and he's poor and he's hungry, and he decides, it's better if I return and work as a slave for my father than to just die out here of hunger. And so the text says that he's returning, he's practicing his "I'm sorry" speech, but along the way, his dad is already there on the lookout. His dad wasn't waiting at home, just hoping that his kid would come back so that he could say, "Well, I told you so, you were wrong." But the dad is actively out searching for his lost son, longing for him to come home. And as soon as he does, the father wraps his arms around the son, he kisses him, he hugs him, and he calls to the other helpers, saying, "Bring out the fattened calf, put a ring on him, put my best robe on him, because this son of mine has come back to me." This is the picture of what God is like. He is a God who is eager to hear from us. He's generous, and he loves us through and through. And so, if you are waiting to hear from God, if you haven't opened that door, you haven't explored, you haven't knocked, you haven't received, maybe because you have the wrong picture of God. Maybe like little children, we need to run to our Father's arms and share with him all that we're going through, so that we can experience his grace, his goodness, and his gifts to us as well.